Welcome back to another card making tutorial. This month we are focusing on the Jar of Love bundle from Stampin' Up. It includes a variety of images and I'll be sharing how you can layer the flower stamps to create this card. I'm starting out by stamping these two images using the MISTI tool. It's really handy because it allows you to double stamp in the exact position. Here you can see that the images look splotchy, but I can easily reink the stamps to get a much solid result. Next, I'm layering the floral image. When you are using a stamp layering set, remember that the base should always be the lightest color, and the finest details being the darkest. I used both dye and pigment ink pads for my project, and I'll list all of them in the description box below. Then I stamped the blue and yellow flowers on other scraps of Neenah Solar White cardstock. I actually keep all the scrap pieces inside a stamp storage pocket and use them for small images like these. Finally, I stamped the bow on Neenah cardstock and the jar on watercolor cardstock. I'm sure by now you've noticed that a lot of the photopolymer stamps I used are stained with ink, but that's totally normal and it usually doesn't affect how they stamp. So I was really surprised when some of the blue ink transferred. I think it might be the first time that this happened, and it's also interesting because I haven't inked up this set for months. Anyways, I just re-inked the stamp and tested on scrap paper before I stamped it onto cardstock again. After I'm done, I die cut the images with your coordinating dies. And while we have the die cutting machine out, I'm going to emboss a watercolor panel with Stampin' Up's Brick Wall embossing folder. Then I'm adding a light wash of Pumice Stone and Hickory Smoke Distress inks. After drying the panel with my heat gun, I tapped on some ink droplets for some extra texture. I then colored the bottom half of the jar with Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens. And I stamped the branches on the jar. When I stamped the third branch, I actually bent the photopolymer stamp so it's curving towards the left. This is just another perk of photopolymer stamps since you can't really alter rubber or wood mount stamps in this way. Now it's time to assemble everything. I adhered the embossed panel to the top folding card and arranged the florals. Then I used multi-medium in the matte finish to adhere the die cuts. I also used foam tape on the jar and some larger flowers so the card looks more dimensional. Finally, I attached some lace and twine as embellishments, and that completes the card. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit subscribe for more tutorials.